Redditors who have hired a private investigator. What did you discover? Removed. My wife was planning a surprise birthday party. Happy birthday. My parents hired one for my ex-boyfriend while we were still together during the last year of our relationship with my permission. We were together for 7 years. Things they found out and passed on to me. My ex had a second apartment that was in my name that he was splitting with another guy. Not sure how he managed that because he was home with me every night. Second apartment was 2 miles away from our place at the time. Ex had second bank account hidden from me which he deposited half his salary into to pay for his part of the rent over there. Ex had second car which he would drive when he went to go hang out with that guy. Second guy had no idea about me. Was cheating on both of us with at least 2 other guys as well. Seemed none of us knew about each other. Ex had HIV which he hid from at least me, maybe his others as well. He would keep his scripts in the car. Ex had been fired from his previous job and was working for a totally new company. Ex also had a huge life insurance policy on me. I'm talking huge. I was young and naive when we first got together and never asked questions about the paperwork I was signing because I trusted him and thought him having me go to the doctors for the yearly physical was just part of what I needed to do to keep our regular health insurance. He was also very controlling and manipulative, so I didn't really have much of an option but to believe him. This all started because we could never figure out why we were always broke and how we could never pay our bills on time. My parents expected a gambling problem. Not all of this. I'm sure they found out more stuff, just didn't tell me about it. Which I'm totally okay with. As a lifelong true crime nut, that life insurance policy gave me chills. Let me tell you. It's the mother of all red flags. Seriously. They played it super smart when they broke up with him. The life insurance policy sounds like he was planning to murder them. In another comment they said Hurricane Irma opened his eyes and they didn't want to be in an unhappy relationship when they broke up. And didn't bring up all of the stuff the pie dug up. I'm sure if they confronted him with it and they got into a fight, things could have ended up much worse. My wife and I adopted our son from another country when he was 3. You don't get many records. But we did have the national ID number for his birth mom. We hired a PI to track down his family. He found the birth mom, older sister, and younger sister on the way. We have a recorded interview between the PI and birth mom where she shares how our son's pregnancy was a secret not even her teenage daughter knows and how she feared she could not care for him. We share some photos of our son with the birth mom and talk back and forth a little bit awkwardly. Thorough Google Translate. Our son's birth family knows about him now and I think our getting in touch is the reason she kept her new baby. The mom appears to be concerned for his well-being and wants to make sure he plays soccer and not American football. D. When our son is older we plan to share all this with him and let him decide if he would like to meet them. Some of the best money we ever spent. Undefined. Edit 2. There seems to be a high level of concern in the replies about what sport our son plays. I'm sorry to all the American football fans. But we are a soccer family. We already have a jersey from his home country ready for him to wear. Very wholesome. Not me. But my parents. In the late 90s. My dad got T-boned by a car running a red light. The car was coming off a highway exit ramp and hit my dad at about 60 miles per hour. Dad was rolling off of the stop after the light turned green. So he was going 10 miles per hour at most. Horrible accident. Dad's truck flipped several times. Both vehicles totaled. The other car was driven by a man taking his pregnant wife to the hospital. Because she was in labor. The family that hit Dad tried to claim that 1. Dad had run the red light. Not them. 2. The crash had injured the baby. and 3. The crash had permanently disabled the mother. They tried to sue my parents for millions of dollars. Point 1 came down to he said she said because of a lack of witnesses who could agree there were several people around. But some said dad had the green while others said the other car had the green. But my parents hired a PI to check on points 2 and 3. It was very lucky they did. Because the PI was able to get photos of the mom doing things she claimed she couldn't do anymore, lifting heavy bags of groceries to carry inside, picking up other heavy objects, taking long walks with a stroller, etc. The PI also walked my parents through how to find a good lawyer. Neither of them had ever faced anything like this before. They were in their early 30s and completely lost on what to do and terrified of losing everything they had, and that lawyer was able to subpoena medical records that disproved health problems for the baby and mom. All of that evidence ended with the case being thrown out. And while the several $1,000s my parents paid for it was expensive, it was less expensive than being on the hook for millions of dollars. Not me, but my grandma. She hired a private investigator against my grandfather and confirmed that he was indeed sleeping around. One day, her and the investigator drove up to his mistress' house and busted his butt. I heard the confrontation was ugly. But yet, Grandma is a badass. Out of context question. Can you hire one to see what information can find out from you? At a certain level of US politics, it's basically a requirement to have yourself investigated, or at least it's smart so everyone does it. I think one of the earlier seasons of House of Cards covers this. At a point in the election, one of the characters sits down with one of their staff who tells them to tell them everything that they've done in their life that could potentially cause damage to them. I think it's mostly so if it's ever found out they can at least lessen the blow it'll cause. It was pretty interesting. My cousin is a PI. One of his stories I've always enjoyed is this very rich middle-aged couple were having some difficulties. At least the wife was. The husband had decided to buy a farm in the mountains with accompanying cabin, think hot tub and super rich. Not Abe Lincoln, and he bought a tractor to work on the farm with and started spending more and more time on this farm. Especially without her. And she got suspicious. She hires my cousin to go see what the old man is getting up to so much without her, and he brings her pictures of old boy in the hot tub with his mistress. She made him sell the property, the hot tub, the tractor, and took his favorite Rolex watch and gave it to my cousin as a bonus, just the watch. Not the rest of that. I had one hired against me. And they found out everything. Tattoos that aren't visible normally. The address I lived at in a different country. Medical records from an accident that happened 6 years prior. So many random things that aren't publicly available. Do you know why they were hired to find that information? How did you find out about it? A friend of mine was married and widowed while still a teenager. My friend, her husband, and their baby were all in a car accident that was another driver's fault, and her husband didn't make it. Her husband had life insurance and they do not expect to pay out on such a young person. The insurance company had a PI stalk my grieving friend with an injured baby for months. I think they were trying to catch her doing things that would demonstrate that she had moved on in life to avoid paying out. They gaslit her too, as they denied for months they had someone following her, so she just felt stalked. I think she sued them. Not mine. But I remember seeing a post on Reddit ages ago r/pro revenge, I think, about a rich dude who hired a PI against his wife on suspicion of cheating. After some time they discovered she was a lovely lady, went to charity groups, children hospitals, etc., and was not cheating at all. The husband? Oh boy. Turns out he was cheating on her. Sometimes with 2 or 3 other women at a time. When the man didn't get the result he wanted, he tried to sue the PI group. But you can imagine how that went. One of the pi said, "It isn't our job to give you what you want. Our job is to observe and report undefined." Edit 2. Thanks for the reward. D. Edit 3. 3K likes and 3 rewards. What's going on here? People. I don't deserve these. I have a relative who is a lawyer who's been approached by people with this very question more than once. We hired a pi to prove that our son's wife is cheating. He wasted 3 months of following her and watching cameras and was so bad at his job that he couldn't get a single shred of evidence of what we absolutely know she has to be doing. And we know she's doing it. Because we hate her. They're going through a divorce. And it would really help us. Both in justifying our feelings of hatred and in backing up our claims of her being a bad person in court. So obviously she must be cheating. He just sucks at his job. Right? We can sue. Right? Right?
Hey guys, if you like this video then smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel for more contents like this. And don't forget to press that bell icon to get notified for future videos. Thanks for watching. Click here to see more videos.